Good morning, family. My name is Jihad Uhuru, Professor Jihad Uhuru, rather. Let's talk about some things, you guys, and I'm a little disturbed. I'm very disturbed over several things. The lack of knowledge about our history, as it concerns a victor's history from our standpoint, from our understanding. Like, and we need to, I call them the talented tenthers. The talented tenthers are the people with all these damn degrees. They got your BS degree. You got your moral MS, which is more of the same. And you got your PhD, piled high and deep in a Eurocentric ideology that don't have anything to do with who you are, black man, black woman, our people. Right now we're in catastrophic times. This is a pandemic, but it's biblical, it's historical, it's happened before, you guys. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean. We have to stop. Like, if you want to pray, pray, do your thing. We got to stick together. Prayer warriors pray. Now some people may not agree in just praying, but some people do. So you pray. It's all about freedom. It's all about liberating ourselves, liberation, right? You got people that out here, they're getting crunk. These young folks, they're angry, they're upset. Now you may say, well, damn, and I agree. I do not advocate looting. I'm not an advocator of looting, especially of your own community, right? If you must loot, if you must destroy things that's going to affect the powers that be or your oppressors. Don't destroy mom and pop stores. Don't destroy the individual stores. If you must, I'm saying if you must, go outside of your community, go places, the big stores like people are already doing around the country. Right? If you got to do that now. And you have some of our black so-called leaders. They tell you, oh, well, you don't do this, it's counterproductive. Let me tell you something. If right now we are getting more press around the world and everywhere of what we're doing, and we're taking the system down, damn it. Taking it all the way down. We got our white brothers and sisters. Our black, so I hear black brothers say, hey man, these are whites looting way more. Now forget that. We are together. We're angry, we're upset, and we will force change. You got to force change. It's an action. You got to act. Be love. Black excellence is liberating ourselves to victory over everyone. Remember that now. Now let me give you some precedence over this thing. First, let me explain to you. The number one biggest problem in the world in this country is this damn Constitution. Now you got to understand this, people. They say every law and every ordinance is based on Constitution, and they say constitutional rights. What are constitutional rights? Explain that to me. First let's talk about the Constitution. You have 53 white men, rapists, murderers, killers, enslavers. Rapists, murderers, killers, kidnappers, and enslavers. Criminals who brought this thing into being. And the preamble says this is for us and our children and our future. It ain't got nothing to do with you, yellow man, brown man, black man. So the first thing we got to do is tear this damn Constitution down. This Constitution makes it legal for the legal lynching of black people, because it has to. Now think about this. Now we're talking about these charges, these damn officers, right? This man has third-degree manslaughter or something like that. Do y'all know this man can be out of jail in like 5.5 to 7 years? Just like Amber Geiger, right? This white woman killed his brother in his apartment. She got 10 years. Now, is that what your life is worth? Black man, black woman. Is that really what our lives are worth? Let's look at that. See. And it's because the Constitution that allows this stuff to be what it is. You dig? Just think about it. You had a last election, presidential election, where Sister Hillary Clinton had about 2 million more votes or more than this clown that's in office now, right? COVID 45, right? And you have this thing called Electoral College. You know what I'm saying? Because Electoral College, he was put in office. And this is supposed to be for the people, by the people. No, it's not. It's for the rich, by the rich. And it's proven that. It's proven that time and time again. But when you start tearing down the corporate structure, when you start tearing down these businesses, these places that are corporately owned or whatever, when you start doing that, change has to happen. It's historical, y'all. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you guys something. Now this is to the talented tenders. Let me give y'all a little piece of history, okay? While y'all sitting up holding hands and singing We Shall Overcome and lift every voice and sing instead of lift every fist and swing. Let me tell you what's happened. Peace always has come with a cost. See, you get peace, but you get peace after the storm. There's a storm first. Remember that. There's a violent storm first for the rainbows and for the peace comes. See, right now it's the storm. We are the storm. We have to be the storm. Be the storm. It's an action. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Peace has never done anything for us. So let's give you an example, you guys. So what you're saying is that you got chickens, and I'm not saying we chickens, and I'm not saying they wolves, but they are wolves, and they demons around here. You got chickens that say, chickens, we're going to stand together, we're going to hold feathers together, and we're going to refuse to move, and we're going to make these folks be peaceful to us. We're going to make these wolves be peaceful to us. Now you got wolves ruling the wolf pack. Are you serious? It's just easy to annihilate you. That's all. Easy to annihilate you and monetize your annihilation. That's all. So peace ain't never done nothing. And see, the history that we learn a victim's history. Now, we have never been victims. We have been victors. I'm going to give you an example. 1918, the very last serious pandemic. 1918, 1919, right? They said, well, the numbers, the stats from the World Health Organization says approximately 350 million people in this world perished because of what they called it then the Spanish flu. That's what they called it. But you know what? They called it the Spanish flu because it emerged in 1918, 1919 a little strong. 1918 was the end of World War I now. And they said it was Spain. They said, well, the powers that be, especially in America and abroad, said that it came from Spain. And they said it came from Spain because Spain was neutral in World War I. Well, come to find out in 1940, 1941, it came from an American base. That's what it came. Now, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to give you a little preface to the people who disseminate information. Now, do you think these people, that your oppressors, will ever give you anything to make you free? Do you really think that? So everything that you learn, Carter G. Woodson said, hold it up to susceptibility. You got to first be willing to unlearn everything that you've learned to even have a possible chance to breaking the chains of ignorance that's over us. So when you tell these brothers and sisters, these angry brothers and sisters, stop doing this, stop cranking up violence, stop looting, I'm sorry, you tell them to give them the wrong message. But you need to tell them you need to organize. That's what you need. We have to organize because right now it's chaotic, but the chaos is becoming organization because people all around the world are participating around this country are participating in the same similar chaos, which is some type of organization. Understand that, you guys. But we have to have an agenda. The agenda should be tear this motherfucker down and force the powers to be to enact a new constitution that's reflective for us, for the people, by the people. And we got our white brothers and sisters standing against one of the most greatest moments of my life in 51 years when I saw these white folks from historically racist Louisville, Kentucky standing together arm in arm. And black folks was behind them. Hey, I had to change my little tune right there, y'all. There's white folks and black folks because the humanity is tired of this shit, man. They're tired of this. They're tired of seeing human lives being violated, being killed for no other reason than the color of their skin. Now let's go back, 1918, 1919. I gotta get with this, y'all. The same thing, the pandemic flu. Let me tell you what else happened. At the end of World War I, they would not let the black veterans march. White folks, when I say they, I mean the white folks, the powers that be, would not let would not let black folks march in the victory parades. If you attempted to march, they would kill you. They would lynch you, and they did that. Approximately 4,750 people that they had reported, veterans, were lynched and killed when they came back from fighting for this damn country. Now people don't understand is the day that the draft was instituted, for World War I. Over 750,000 black males signed up for this draft. So it's a tragedy that you're not going to let them march. Now, I'm going to tell you what it's leading up to now. Now, understand, 1918, the war ended, right? 1918, and you had this pandemic that began, right? Now, right after the war ends, now, understand this. So the black community all around this country, we were having parades for our black veterans that came home, for our black veterans that helped institute the victory that America received as a result of World War I, right? So let me tell you what happens. White folks was mad. The white folks was mad. So what they start doing? They start killing the veterans and killing people like crazy, right? And this, fast forward, 1919, the summer of 1919, it was called Red Summer. It was called Red Summer because of all the blood that was shed. Red Summer was when a lot of white groups, racist white groups, organized racist groups, white groups, Ku Klux Klan, the White Citizens Council, other groups, went around to burgeoning African American communities, middle upper class African Americans, such as the one in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which constitute of Greenwood Street, Archer Street, and Pine Street, 3 streets: Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. They went to Rosewood, Florida. They went to Atlanta, Chicago, all these other places. They were tearing our shit up, right? But let me tell you what happened, y'all. And they tore our shit up because we allowed it. But let me tell you what happened when they went to Harlem. That's where they messed up at. They went to Harlem, New York. Now, when they went to Harlem in the Red Summer 1919, you had a young man, Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson, who was a big numbers runner, made all this money, and his crew was numbers runners. And you had Bubs Waller, you had other people that was instrumental in this thing. They gathered their shit together. They had guns. They were fighters. They were warriors, right? Oh, hell, no, it ain't going down like that. So what happened was Bumpy and them and the peoples in Harlem fought, and they defended that shit. And they ran them crackers out of there. I'm sorry, when I say crackers, I'm talking about people who cracked the whips over the bodies and the backs of our people and over the minds of our people. You understand this? They were tearing their ass out in front of police. And it was police, a lot of them was police. Understand this, y'all. It was a lot of these were police that was cracking their ass, cracking back their ass. So understand that. Now, because of our victory in Harlem, it instituted a thing within us. We knew, oh, we won this shit. So we had all these communities in burgeoning in Harlem, and then hence you had the rebirth, which they call the Renaissance. The Renaissance means rebirth. The Harlem Renaissance was on the backs of Red Summer, and that's what happened. And let me tell you something. There's a brother named Claude McKay, a very famous poet back then. He wrote a poem, and it reinvigorated and invigorated the revolt and the uprising. It was called "If We Must Die." He said, "If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and pinned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the bad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accused lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us through dead. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows, deal on death blow. What though thou before us lie, the open grave? Like men will face the murderous cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying but fighting back." Dig that, dig that. See, we have so many rich stories of revolution where we won, but we don't know the back and the underpinnings of how it happened. This is how the Harlem Renaissance was spurred. Because we knew we were proud people. We are proud people, I'm sorry, y'all. We're not a person who just, historically, you're just going to get along, go along to get along. But that's what the powers that be want you to believe, because if you knew stories like that, you're like, wow, you could always say, well, they're Bumpy Johnson and they did it. And this is how they did it. So I'm telling you, do it, get crunk, but organize with your crunkness, okay? And please, y'all, like I say, please be very diligent in what you do. Diligent, do what you say, do what you do. And y'all tell the Tiffers, leave these brothers alone just because you want to pray. And that's fine. Pray. I love prayer. I pray all the time. And just because you want to do this, you do that. Stay in your damn lane. Stay in your motherfucking lane. Understand it. Stay in your lane. Your lane is you this, you that. But don't talk about them. Don't stay, because they are causing change. These black, white, these brown, yellow brothers and sisters that are angry, they're mad. See, I'm 51 years old. I would have been right with them 30 years ago. But shit, right now, if I go down there, my knee messed up, shoot. Maybe done got me, and I be, hey, y'all can't leave me, doggone it. And I be done got us all messed up. You know, there's those who do and there's those who teach. I am one who teaches now, but I used to do. I was in the struggle. I'm still in the war, baby. So, it's not about you, it's about us. And then people will say, well, man, it's not worth it. You know, you going down there and you're going to die. Well, I'm sorry. If we must die, let it not be like hogs hunted and pinned in a glorious spot. Let us die men. If we must die, let us die as men, standing on our feet. Because if you don't live for something, you can die for, you'll fall for anything. And you got to stand for something. You got to stand. It's Malcolm, y'all. You got to stand for it. And you stand, the way you stand may be different than the way these other brothers stand, the way these different brothers stand. But the bottom line, we're all fighting for one thing. We're all fighting for liberation. You dig? We're all fighting for liberation. But the agenda should be taking this motherfucking government structure down and reforming the government into a country that's representative of the people, for the people, by the people. You dig? And I'm gonna tell you how we do that. We start. South Africa did it. South Africa, they came up with a whole new. They have one of the most progressive constitutions in the world. Not saying they go by, but they have one of the most progressive constitutions in the world now. Now we, as the leaders of the free world, we need to change our constitution, force change the constitution. And constitution should be written by people that are reflective of the cultures that make up this country. The leaders, the cultures that make up this country. Now, and we don't use the leaders that they put in front of us. Use the leaders, the real leaders, the leaders who are doing the work. Not the ones who sitting up grandstanding and on the news and saying this and that or whatever, you know, or trying to protect their own self-interest. It ain't about self, it's about us. Now, if shit got to be crunk, if shit got to be destroyed, it got to be destroyed. But in destruction, that's a storm. You got to rebuild. When the tornado comes, the hurricane comes, they destroy a lot of stuff, but it got to be, and usually you rebuild it to a much better thing than it was before. Because you start to understand. It's the Constitution, you guys. Fight the power. The power is the Constitution, y'all. This Constitution that says all these laws. The Constitution says it leads a person to a grand jury, and you have one person, you have a district attorney in the grand jury or whatever, and you don't have nobody, and they leading the people to see if this can be a charge or whether the charge is going to be. Now, you know good and goddamn well it's a travesty of injustice for this man to be charged as third-degree manslaughter or third-degree whatever he's charged with. Bottom line, because the time, you look at the time you can get for this, you done stole a human life, man. You done killed somebody and proudly killed them. And the mother officers, they got to be charged, y'all. They got to be charged. We have to have some accountability, but the only way we accountability is if we fight. We can't fight no longer holding hands, because that don't work out for us. I'm sorry, it don't work out for us. We have to cause damage to the economic structure, the power structure. You know, we have to fight in different ways. There's different ways to fight. Understand that, y'all? Remember that history now. Now you research. Now I want everybody to watch this video. You go research, read something yourself. Now go further than what the white man, and research it from people's standpoint who've written about it, right? That have your interest at heart. Don't do Wikipedia now. Now I'm gonna refer you to a couple of books now. I want y'all to go read Harlem Godfather, okay? And Harlem Godfather as told to Karen Quinones Miller by Mamie Johnson, which was Bumpy Johnson's wife, and she was then 93 years old. Very vivid memory. And you will explain a lot of the underpinnings of the Harlem Renaissance. You will see gangsters in a whole different way. Because sometimes you gotta have the gangsters fight for you. The gangs fight for you. Let me tell you, see, people don't understand that. Even historically, even the gangs in America, the gangs in Chicago, the gangs some of the major gangs in America started in the black community. The black community gangs started, for instance, in Chicago, to protect the mothers. Because the mothers that were going out being maids and stuff, they were being raped, they were being harassed, they were being robbed by white America and white thugs. So you got these young kids, no more. You ain't gonna hurt my mama no more. They getting together. That's how the gangs really started. To protect our mothers, our aunts, our sisters, and sometimes our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers, sometimes our fathers that had to work outside the community, which everybody had, and had to take the bus all the way around the world and come back to the community. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's history we need to know. Because if you enact that history, then you look back and say, okay, we can get back to that. But this is what we need to do, and this is what worked, and this is what did not work. That's the power of history, y'all. That's what I teach y'all. Please, please believe that. And y'all, exercise your Second Amendment rights. But before you exercise your Second Amendment rights and pick up a gun, learn how to shoot that gun. And before you learn how to shoot that gun, figure out who you're going to shoot that gun at. Dig that. Now, I'm not saying go shoot people, but I'm saying if you have to, we have to protect our own. We have to. Because they're not doing it. They don't care about you. They hate you. They've always hated you, black man, black woman. They don't like you. Only reason they have you here right now is to subjugate and to make money for them. That's why they teach you this backwards version of history, this backwards version of education. Dig that. Dig that. Now understand, y'all, like I said, the revolution is here. This is not, and the sister Keisha Lansbottom, the mayor of Atlanta, keeps talking about, this is not, she's right, this is not a protest. I don't know where you, I don't know, it's only the powers that be talking about is a protest. We are not protesting, this is a fucking uprising. Do y'all know what the uprising is? Uprising is this is a reaction to what they've been doing. And your crazy president, COVID 45, he made a quote from a Miami mayor in 1968, something about if looters are shooting, well, we're gonna shoot you if you loot or something like that. I forget the exact quote. Don't even want to remember the exact quote. But it came from a mayor in Miami in 1967 who was referring to there was a uprising in Miami after, again, a black brother was shot. A black brother was killed. And he was saying basically, if you run away, we will shoot. If you loot and run away, we will shoot. Shoot you in the back. That's some coward ass shit. You did? So that's history. And understand this, y'all. You had 1965. Yes, I'm just giving you a few of them. You had Manafort Frey. Manafort Frey was the brother that spurred the so-called riots, but it was the uprising. The uprising in 65 in Watts. He spurred it because this brother was pulled over by the police only a couple blocks from his house. Beat down by the police for doing nothing. Then his mama came out, his mama was whooped up on by the police. Right? So these are uprisings or reactions to the violence that's being perpetuated against the black community. We had this what happened about 30, 40 years later, 1991, 1992? Rodney King, hey, same thing. It was an uprising. It was a revolt. It was an uprising against the system that perpetuates this stuff. These are uprisings, y'all. Now, what we have to add on to the uprising is that we have to make a demand. We demand a new constitution that's reflective of us, for us, by us, for the people. That's what the Constitution has to reflect. The people. The people. Not the powers that be, not big business, but the people. It's a travesty. It's a travesty. It needs to be a redistribution of wealth. It's a travesty when less than 3% of the population have more wealth than the other 97% of the population. That's a travesty. That's a total injustice. So that's what we have to change. So there has to be an agenda to this. Be love is agenda. Be love is black excellence, liberating ourselves to victory over everyone. And everybody can exercise black excellence, because white brother and sister, you were black before you was white. Understand that, because you come, at the end of the day, you come from Africa, maybe a few 100,000 years removed, but you come from that continent, that landmass that we all come from. Black, you are black. You were started out black. Black excellence is liberating ourselves to victory over everyone. That's be love. We got to be the love. We got to fight out of love. Doing this out of love, y'all. Not out of anger, not out of hate, but out of love. Switch that anger hate to love. This is a love. This needs to be a be love movement. We love humanity so much. We love our brothers, our black brothers and sisters so much. We love all our brothers and sisters so much that we refuse to allow another black life to be lost at the hands of a system, that says black men are worth nothing. Black men are worth maybe a couple of years in prison, maybe 3 years in prison. You take a black life. That's sad and that's disgusting. And take heed to history. In 1977, 76, 77, you had in South Africa, the student uprising, where you can see, if you go Google, you can see where cops were killing from a helicopter, shooting children, because they were rising up, because they refused to accept the conditions. They refused to accept a language by their oppressor. Come on now. And other things. Come on now, y'all. This is history, y'all. So before y'all get on TV, y'all so-called black news, why don't y'all call me? Let me give y'all a history lesson, okay? Let me teach y'all. Or let me send y'all places to go so y'all can learn the real story. Not their story, but our story. Not his story, but our story. This is real talk, y'all. I'm out. Peace. Please tune in. Please tune in. Please listen to these. Please listen to these words, and please pass this on, because this is real, y'all. This is truth. This is not. I'm not violent. I'm not teaching hate. I'm teaching truth. This is what it is. This is truth. Now, as long as you keep learning about as long as you talk about, well, we should overcome and all this other stuff, and stand together and hold hands. I got to ask people, where has that gotten you? Where has that gotten us? How is that going to get you anywhere against an evil, demonic system, evil, demonic mindset? Evil, demonic mindset. When the Nation of Islam in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 30s and 20s were talking about the white man is the devil, they damn sure meant that. But they didn't mean every white man. They meant the consciousness of white America, the consciousness, the social consciousness, the moral fabric, which is the government and still, which is systemized, which is internalized. This is systemic racism, y'all. This is real. Systemic racism becomes perpetuated by individuals that feed into this ignorance. But you white brothers, you strong white brothers and sisters, you strong Hispanic brothers and sisters, you strong black brothers and sisters, y'all know the deal because y'all see it. We are human. We bleed. Hey, I cut my arm, I bleed just like you. Same type blood. We're human beings. Understand that. We're human beings. And understand this. This is history repeating itself, you guys. Do your research, 1918, 1919. And while you're out there doing this, y'all, you know, but please be as safe as you can. Practice that social distancing. Wear them masks, because this shit is real. You may be asymptomatic, but the next man may not be asymptomatic. Dig that. Peace. I'm out.